Hey guys, and welcome to the Woolen Homestead. This is a knitting, spinning, hand dyeing yarn, and pretty much anything else yarn related video podcast. My name is Tiffany, and I'm coming to you from Midland, Michigan. You can find me on various social media as the Woolen Homestead, as well as my hand dyed yarns at thewoolenhomestead.etsy.com, and you can find links to all those places in the description box below. So welcome back if you are a returning viewer, and hello and welcome if you are a new viewer. It is, today is Monday, October 30th, 2017, and, yeah, it's been a week since, 2 weeks since I talked to you guys, and, it was really weird taking a week off, but, I'll get more into that at the end of the episode in the, chit-chat section. But, yeah, so I guess I'm just gonna go right in, to what I've been working on. So no finished objects this week, but I have a new cast on. Oh, I also want to mention what I'm wearing. So I'm not used to being able to wear hand knits on the podcast. I always forget to talk about them. So I've got on my On the Spice Market shawl by Melanie Berg, and I knit this last year, and I finished it, I think in November, maybe October of last year, and this is one of my favorites. This was a gradient kit from Miss Babs, except I bought the gray from Cascade, but I love this shawl. It's one of my favorites. So that's what I'm wearing. But yeah, I've got a new cast on, and I will share with you guys. It is the Songbird Mittens by Erica Heuser. Let's see. I don't have a picture of it right here, but I'll try and post one. But I was gifted this pattern earlier this year from the lovely Carrie, who is my co-host for the Basket of Mittens Knit Along that we've got going on in the group. So if you want more information on that, you can head on over to the Ravelry Group. And I have been wanting to knit these mittens forever. And so once she sent me that, I've been just dying to cast them on, and I decided the other day that I was going to do it. So I had a skein of blue yarn that I had dyed, and then I decided to do a little bit of over dyeing with it. And then I just had like a cream color of undyed yarn. And so this is what I've got done so far. So just a little bit of a cuff. And yeah, so I've got the camera turned around again this time so I can see myself again. I can see what I'm showing you guys. I think it tends to focus a little bit better this way. So the quality is probably not going to be as good, but at least I can see what I'm showing you guys. So yeah, I was just itching to do some color work. You know, I've been kind of watching Ellie of Skein Deer Knits a little bit more often. I watched her before, but I'm just like really, really into the color work right now. And so I knew I had this pattern. I knew I had some yarn that could work. I know this is not the best yarn for the project because this is a superwash. This is my Sturdy Sock base. So it's a superwash merino yarn and with nylon in it. And I know the best is to do like a rustic yarn. There's a little more toothiness to it, but I just figured, I had the yarn. It'd be good practice for my color work technique. And I have learned so much. Like you can actually see from where I started at the bottom and then to what I've done up here that I have kind of improved like my tension and whatnot. So down here, it's a little bit looser. I was keeping it like so loose, like too loose, because I was afraid of the floats being too tight. And so I kind of like found my middle ground. And obviously once it blocks out, it'll be a little bit more cleaner. But yeah, and it's hard to see up there, but it's like mirrored. So, but yeah, I'm really, really excited about this. And I've been like kind of trying them on my hand and they fit really good. So I'm really, really excited to be doing some more color work because I don't have a ton of experience with it. I've done the bobble hat. I've done 2 bobble hats. And I did a cowl, but that was my first ever color work was this cowl that I did, but I used acrylic yarn not knowing, and I was way too tight and it puckered horribly, and I actually recently just got rid of that cowl because it was horrible. So I never wore it. So yeah, that's what I'm knitting. So if you are new to color work and you didn't know, acrylic is not the best for that because it doesn't like block out at all. So learn from my mistakes. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying that project right now. I want to show you how, but I would have to show the chart, so I'm not going to show you, but I'll share with you guys how I have been keeping track of where I'm at on the chart. Somebody had left me this suggestion in the comments a couple weeks ago, a couple episodes ago, for when I was having trouble keeping track of what row I was on in a chart. And they said that they put the pattern in one of those like clear plastic, I guess I can show you back. So clear plastic things. So my pattern's in here, and this will say this was the chart. She just puts like washi tape over like the line of where you're knitting at. And so I just like move the washi tape up, and I thought when I would try it, you know, that it wouldn't like really stay in the right spot, but it totally does. Like I thought maybe like the papers, I don't know. I thought that it wouldn't quite work. And so I tried it and I love it. So I'm going to be doing that from now on for sure. I love that method. So, and then I also like, just to even double check it even more, I've been using a row counter in that project as well. Cause I get lost on, charted patterns, I feel like all the time. So that has been helping so much. So just my little 2 cents I thought I'd pass on. And then I also learned from a couple of YouTube videos about color dominance. And I can actually show you an example. I didn't know about this before, but when you are knitting color work, and this is only 2 colors throughout the whole thing, that when you have, because, you know, like for me, I carry 1 yarn in my right hand and 1 yarn in my left hand. And when they said, you know, knit with the dominant color in the hand that you're most comfortable with. So for me, I'm a continental knitter. It's my left hand. I thought because this had mostly blue in it that I would hold the blue in my, it doesn't look like it here, but in the pattern it has mostly blue. And so I thought that that's what I would do. But once I was watching the videos, they were saying, what color do you want to pop out? That's the dominant color. So I want the white to pop out. So in the beginning, I was holding, like down here, I was holding blue in my left hand, which that's my dominant hand, and then white in my right hand. And so it's not popping out. The white wasn't popping out as much. And also my tension was horrible. So it just has to do with how like the yarn lays on top of each other. And so then once I got up into here, I changed it, and I don't know, I just feel like it looks more crisp, and I really, really like that. I think I just looked up on YouTube, I think it was just like color dominance in knitting, or color work dominant. I don't know, something along those lines. And I found it, I think it actually was a Knit Picks video. So yeah, it was really interesting. I didn't know that was even a thing before. So that was really cool. Now, let's see, the other thing. Oh, I just used size US 2 needles on that, but that's really all I wanted to say about that. So next that I've been working on is my Speckle and Pop shawl by Stephen West, which the mystery knit along is over with now. Like all of the clues have been released. So, and I'm still on clue 1, so I'm sure this won't be any spoilers for anybody. But I will show you guys where I'm at. So, oh, this is the right side. So here is where I am on clue 1. So it has grown a little bit. Now it's been 2 weeks, but I didn't work on this primarily. We were binge watching Stranger Things last night, and I worked on this like the whole time, so I got a lot of it done last night. Which, by the way, oh my gosh, that's all I'm gonna say. Oh my gosh. So yeah, this is where I'm at. I'm on the second color. So the first main color is these are all of my yarns, and this is Happy Little Narwhal, and then you kind of fade from Happy Little Narwhal into the next color, which is Back to the Fuchsia, and then you just have these little pops of color throughout. So yeah, that's where I'm at, and I can't wait to weave in all these ends because I hate them. I hate them dangling. I might actually take a minute and just get a head start on them now. But yeah, so I'm like about halfway through the pink, and then I will get to fade into my next color, which is my yarn, my colorway Nebula. And yes, I'm so excited. I'm really excited. So I hit a point before the last clue came out. I think it was when I saw clue 3, and I was kind of like, I looked at pictures the whole time. Nothing, after the first week, nothing was a surprise for me anymore. I just looked, which is so funny. Like, I was not the kind of kid that snuck and looked at my Christmas presents ahead of time, but with this mystery knit along, I was like, I want to see what it's looking like. So I was creeping on the 3rd clue, and I was seeing pictures, and I was just like, I don't know. I don't know if I really like this or if I really want this. And I still wasn't like super far into clue 1. And I was like, this is so much knitting. And I heard a lot of people kind of, you know, complaining about how long it took to do clue 1. And so I just like let it sit. I just sit to the side. I was like, I'm going to wait and see what the whole thing looks like. And so then the clue 4 came out, and I started creeping on finished object pictures, and like in the Ravelry group and on Instagram. And once I saw people like have it all blacked and they were wearing it, I was like, oh, like it's still crazy looking. Like it's definitely not something that I would normally wear, but I love it. Like, I think it's so cool. And I just thought, you know, it's just like wearing a piece of art. So I'm totally going through with it. I'm going to finish it. And, I just think it's really amazing that somebody could design that. I just think that's so cool. It's so different and unique, and I'm really impressed with it. So yeah, so I'm not ripping it out. I'm going to finish it, and I'm really excited too. And I'm using size US 4 high sharps. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to say about that. So that's probably going to be a long work in progress. But I'm really, really enjoying the process and knitting with my own yarns and the bright colors. I'm loving it. So my next project is, and this is living in my Stitch Anew bags, little sheepy bag that Ryan had sent me last year. Maybe that was the beginning of this year. Oh gosh, I think it was last year. Getting everything all mixed up. And I am working on my monkey socks by Cookie A. And I just worked on these a little teeny bit, but I thought I would show them because I haven't showed them in a while. And now this was the project that I had been working on, and I had shown, and I asked for advice on keeping track. So this is all like, this is a free pattern, so, and this is all crumpled up now. But so what I had been doing is just placing washi tape along here. And I don't know if you can see, but it's getting worn away really bad. And so I had mentioned that I would just reprint it. And so I am going to switch this over to that method that I was doing with my mittens, where I put it in a sleeve and then just put tape over the sleeve. Love it. So here is what the yarn looks like caked up. And this is my sweater weather colorway. And I mentioned before that this colorway is kind of going over a makeover. I haven't done it yet. I've still got a few colorways or a few skeins of this in the shop if you're interested. And but yeah, once they sell out, depending on when they're gone, it might not be until next year, but that's going to have a new like look to it. Still going to be the same colors, but just dyed in a different way. So just to make it a little bit easier to dye and be repeatable. So here is where I am at. And this is so fun. So, and now that I have that new way of keeping track of where I'm at, I feel like I'm going to work on these more. I also have a row counter now in my bag for this, and I think that was my problem with like not wanting to do patterned socks. I always just got lost, and so I think this way it's just going to make it a little bit easier. But this is just so fun. Oh, it's washing out really bad, but I love it. There we go. And then I have my little progress keeper from Itty Bitty Delights, the little pumpkin pie, which I adore. Look at that. It's so lifelike and I love it. So that's staying on my sweater weather socks, and it just makes me so happy. It's so fall and I love it. So yeah, go check out Amanda's Etsy shop. It's Little Bitty Delights on Etsy. And I don't know if she's got any of those in the shop right now, but she's got lots of cute little ones in there, and she's always coming up with new ideas. So go check her out. And let's see. Also, that's a really good segue into the next section. I'm giving away one of her charms in one of the knit-alongs. So I'm going to get into the knit-alongs now. We've got the Basket of Mittens Cal going. That is a year-long knit-along co-hosted with Carrie, who is my wool mitten. And if you want to join in, use the hashtag Basket of Mittens Cal. And there's no minimum requirement. You don't have to knit 12 mittens. It's literally just knit mittens, put them in the FO thread. And we are doing that until December 31st. They can be for whoever, they can be for gifts, they can be for you. And yeah, that is the Basket of Mittens Cal. And then the other knit along is the My Favorite Color is October Cal, which ends tomorrow on Halloween, October 31st. And the hashtag for that is My Fave Color is October Cal. We are knitting all fall things. So anything that you think is fall related is totally eligible. So, and then, works in progress are totally allowed for this knit along. So it doesn't matter when you cast it on, as long as you finish it by October 31st. And what I'm going to do for the prizes for that, so we don't have to wait a whole another week or 2 weeks, depending on how life goes. I am going to close the thread up probably on November 1st. That way it gives everybody enough time to get their entries in. And then I am going to draw the winners and tag them in the Ravelry group that way instead of announcing them on here. So that way you'll know right away if you're a winner. So check your Ravelry. And how I am drawing for the winners is because there's an option that if you knit with My Favorite Colors October colorway, you get double entries. So what I'm doing is I'm just literally going through the FO thread, writing everybody's name on a piece of paper. And so if you use the My Favorite Colors October colorway, you'll get 2 pieces of paper. So for however many, objects you finished. So I'm doing it the old-fashioned way, drawn out of a hat. But that way, I figure that's the only real way to make it work with having double entries. I don't know how you do that with random.org. So, yeah, I think that's it. Let's see here. Oh, and I will go through the prizes. So one of the prizes is a skein of my yarn from my shop. Another one is right here. Oh, I'm totally throwing yarn. There we go. So another one is, okay, Progress Keeper from Little Bitty Delights that I was talking about. It's the sweet little caramel apple. Love that. And then we have a bag and charm from Daisy Girl and Company. And she has a coupon code in her shop that goes until October 31st, which is Fave Color 15 for 15% off. So you can use that up until tomorrow. And then there is a chatter thread prize. So if you didn't finish anything, don't worry. If you have been chatting in the group, you are still eligible for a prize. And that is a pattern from Mary Dickerson. And she has craftytoots.com. And so she's got lots of different craft tutorials on knitting and crochet. And she also has an Etsy shop where she sells like crochet hooks, like ergonomic crochet hooks. And yeah, so you're going to get a pattern from her. So yeah, that is it for knit along news. So obviously this will be the last podcast before the knit along ends. So thank you everybody who participated and got active in the group. It was a really, really fun knit along, and we might have to make this like a yearly thing because it was really enjoyable. So next I want to share some mail that I got. I did a swap with Antonella, who is Cozy Posy Yarn Company, And we just did a little teeny little swap of our yarns because she was who I collaborated with on the sweater weather colorway. So this is her sweater weather, and we had both had a picture from Pinterest, and we just kind of took our interpretations from it and made a colorway to it. So this is what hers looks like, and it's on Sparkle, and I love it. And then look at her tag. How cute. Love this. So I'm really, really happy with this. It's so autumnal. I'm sorry things are getting washed out. But yes, I love this. So thank you, Antonella. And she sent me a little tea. And I just love it. So yeah, that's my mail. And then, oh, I finished my spinning. So I showed you last time that I had plied up the spinning project I was working on, but I hadn't wound it into a hank. So here is what the finished product looks like. So I plied it, well, first of all, the bat, it was 2 1-ounce bats from Little Patch Alpacas, and it had, let's see, it had like Stellina, it had lamb's wool, and then alpaca. And then, so it was super, super soft and just like so delicate and amazing. And then I applied it with this mystery yarn, which I thought it was mohair, but it might not be mohair. It might just be like a very woolly yarn. So it's just kind of fuzzy. But it doesn't seem to be quite as fuzzy as mohair, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's what I applied it with. And that's kind of true to color. It's just like made this really soft look to it and very Barbara Pole-y, like in the purple parts. And I'm just really excited. It's definitely not as soft as it was, you know, before I applied it with the other yarn, but it's still like, I think it's totally close to skin, or next to skin wearable. So I'm really thinking of like a cowl. I kind of took like a little vote on Instagram, and it was between like a cowl and mittens, and I think I will do a cowl. It's kind of like a DK to worsted weight. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look around for patterns, but I'll see kind of what inspires me. But I just think it's a very like wintry yarn. I don't know. I love it. So that is that. And oh, I was 248 yards. So yeah, I cannot wait to work with that. I also thought about doing brioche with it. So that would be really pretty. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so that is it for spinning. And then second to last is going to be shop news. So there will be an update this Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, November 3rd. And there will be all new colorways. And bonus, Ethan dyed all of them. So sweet. So I'm going to get into that a little bit. And I'll show you guys what they are in the names. So Ethan, well, this kind of goes into life stuff too. So maybe I'll show you guys what they are first, and then I'll go into life stuff and explain what's been going on. So the colorways that are going to be in the shop, well, I'll start with these ones because this is my favorite. This is, oh, I love this. I posted this, well, actually Ethan posted this on my Instagram. He's going to be kind of like posting on there as well. So just like, you know, shop update things and pictures like that, yarn pictures. He's going to be kind of posting those from now on, just to kind of give me a little bit of a break. So I can post, you know, focus more on posting pictures of like projects that I've been working on and things like that. So this is Hagrid's Happy Hour. I love this. Oh, and he named all of these. I think there was one of them that we kind of like changed the name on a little bit, that I kind of like collaborated with him on it, but it was so nice to not have to come up with colorway names, because sometimes that's the hardest part. But I love this. So this is Hagrid's Happy Hour. This is on DK. All 4 of these are on DK, which is a Polworth DK. It's a Superwash Polworth DK base, and I love it. It's so, I love it. It's just, it almost feels like it's woolly, but it's incredibly soft, and you can tell it's very springy and just, I love it. So look at these sweet little speckles, and I love this. I really want to do like a so faded with this being one of the colors. I love it. So, oh, we've got Hagrid's Happy Hour also on MCN, which the speckles turned out beautiful on this one. Actually, I think the MCN is what he posted was a picture of. So I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. So yeah, just lots of speckles, just like a natural base with speckles all over it. And it's just very woodsy, and I adore this. So that is Hagrid's Happy Hour. And then we've got, let's see. Oh, we've also got Hagrid's Happy Hour on Sturdy Sock as well. So, and I think there's actually only one of those. Let's see. Oh, I'm dropping stuff again. Oh, well. So this is another one. This is a holiday one, and this is Peppermint Bark. And so it's just like this pinky red tonal with bits of white in it that I think would pair really well with some shawls. I've got some other colorways in the update that would go really well with this. So this is just like a good tonal color. I love this. And this is like showing up pretty true to color, I feel. So that's Peppermint Bark. And then we've got Homemade Christmas, which I love. And I'm going to open this one up too, because this is different than Vintage Christmas. Vintage Christmas is like half and half, half red, half green. Where this is like has green and red like throughout, but primarily green. And like bits of white. And yeah, I just love this too. I just think this would make the cutest socks. Like, oh, it'd be so cute. So that is Homemade Christmas. And that will be on Sturdy Sock. I think that's the only base it's on. Yes. And then we've got on DK. I always get the name wrong with this. Oh no, okay, I did have it right. Okay, this is Dr. Filibuster's Fireworks. A Harry Potter reference. And this is on DK, and let's see, this is better with color. It's got more like this is very pinky. So this is fun, and this is what it looks like. I'll see what other bases. This might be just on DK. I just feel like this would be like a super fun, this would be a fun hat, I feel like a really fun winter hat. I think it's cute. And yep, so that's all on DK. Oh, and then there's this one I love. Okay, so this is Hogsmeade Holiday, which is another Harry Potter reference. And it's just this gorgeous, like, autumnal color. Oh, I love it. Like gold and purple. Let's see if I can get this color to work. If I hold it back here. But yeah, I just think this is beautiful. And it's got little like pops of orange and green throughout. It's primarily gold, and I just think it's beautiful. And it's just so autumnal and harvesty, and yeah, I love this. Love it. And then, last but not least, this is so cute. This is Candy Cornucopia. I love candy corn, first of all. Like, love it. And this is just so fall, and yeah, it's definitely Halloween. And I know we're kind of like coming on the end of Halloween, but it's also so like Thanksgiving and fall in general. And I just love this so much. So this is what this looks like, and I think this would knit up so stinking cool. And see, it even looks like candy corn. Love it. Yeah, this lighting's really not good right now. Let me see if I can mess with it. We'll see if that's better. But yeah, it's just too much fun. So that's Candy Cornucopia. Oh, so sweet. So yeah, that is what's going to be coming to the shop this Friday. So everything's new. Just so exciting. So I will also share with what is currently in the shop. And actually, I believe it's going to kind of depend. I believe the candy cornucopia, that may be in the shop ahead of time. So, but I always like keep it on Instagram, you know, when things go in, but the rest of that will be in the shop on Friday. So currently in the shop, I've got Professor Sprout, which this was also dyed by Ethan. And we've got Blueberry Crumb Cake on Sturdy Sock. Ooh, and then Baby It's Cold Outside on Singles, which is one of my favorites. And this is the softest singles ever. I love this. Love that. I've got some more sweater weather. And I've got Aurora. And I've got quite a bit of Vintage Christmas. So Vintage Christmas is, the skein is half green and half red. And then I also have a swatch of how this looks knit up. So I started this last year actually. And this is on, you can see I undid a little bit of this. This is on my old soft sock base. Once again, I feel like this isn't metering right. There we go. And so it just kind of does this like cute little stripe throughout. And sorry if you can hear the dogs barking. I've got my dogs up here, so they might start barking, just as a heads up. And yeah, so I'd cast these on last year, like 2 at a time socks. I was doing the simple skip socks, and I just was not feeling it. I just kind of really wanted a vanilla sock. So I had kind of put them on hold after Christmas because I didn't finish them. And I just kind of put them away. And then getting them out this year, I thought, I'm just going to do vanilla socks. I ripped them back and yeah, just got going. And I'm knitting these on carbons, which this is kind of like my first go with these. These are actually Ethan's. He got these for his birthday and he was really curious to try them out. And so he got them, he tried them, and he wasn't like in love with them. And so I had him try my Hiya Sharps. And he really liked those. So I ordered him a set of those. And then I just kind of commandeered the carbons because I wanted to give him a good run, so to see. And I don't mind them. So I think I tend to be a loose knitter anyways. So it's probably good for me to use, you know, needles with a little more stick to them. But I do love Hiya Sharps too. So I don't know. I just really like trying different ones. So I think that's actually it for everything that's in the shop. Oh, I got one more that I found. I've got Back to the Fuchsia, which is what I'm knitting in my Speckle and Pop shawl. And it looks like that is it. So yeah, that's it for shop news. And then now I'm going to go into the life stuff. So and this is kind of connected with the shop stuff. So basically, why I didn't podcast last week was I just kind of hit a wall. I just hit total burnout. Like, just seriously, it was like I smacked into a wall. And because I work a full-time job, I'm a dog groomer at PetSmart, and I have been doing the podcasting and yarn dyeing on my 2 days off. And so, and then everything in between, you know, coming home after work, I would be scanning up yarn and labeling and posting on Instagram and trying to keep up with the group. I've been horrible at keeping up with the group. Hopefully I can do a little bit better with that now. And keeping up with messages and things like that. It was just kind of like taking over, and I wasn't really having any time to just relax. And, you know, once Ethan started, he kind of came on and started helping me with the dyeing and stuff. And like, basically I would dye and he would wash, and cause that's like my least favorite part. I hate washing it out. I hate it. And, so especially at like if it's just one batch, whatever, you know, but when we were doing like multiple batches in a day and it was taking like the whole day to do it, and then podcasting was taking a whole day, and editing and all of that stuff, I found myself like trying to like shoehorn it in, like, okay, let's see how fast we can get this done so then we can just be done for the day and like go on and do other stuff. And I wasn't like, it kind of wasn't becoming like something that I was doing for fun anymore. Like I still enjoyed it, but it felt more like I had to do it, you know? And so I didn't want it to be like that. I didn't really realize at the time that's what was going on, but I knew that I was like just kind of getting really stressed and almost kind of like depressed. And so I was starting to, remember I was at work and I was drying a dog, because that's when I get all of my best thinking time in, is when I'm drying a dog. And I was starting to feel sick, and I had been listening to The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo, which I cannot recommend enough. I loved that book. I listened to it on audio. I really recommend listening to it on audio too, because I feel like it's just easier to get through. And I had started to kind of like purge some of my things in a way, like just kind of like minimize the amount of like things that I had. And because I just have so much stuff. And so I've been kind of like in that mode of like getting rid of things and just like, you know, throwing out clothes that I don't use anymore and donating them and things like that. And, you know, she talks about, you know, doing things that spark joy, or keeping things that spark joy. And, you know, it kind of like rolls into other parts of your life. And so I was thinking, I knew I had 3 days off coming up in a row. And originally I was going to just work through all of them. And I just was I was drying a dog, and I was like, what if I don't? What if I take the 3 days off and do whatever I want? I was, you know, really into like the sorting and like organizing. And so I really wanted to do that, and just knit and watch podcasts and just relax. And once I like had that idea, like my whole body just, like it felt like you know, like it was just lifted off my chest. And so that was kind of like an eye-opener. And then so I had taken the 3 days off, and I was afraid to come back to it. I really was, because it had kind of become I don't want to say a chore, but it was just like it had kind of gotten to that point, and I didn't want that to happen. And so I originally was like, you know what, I'm just going to maybe take the rest of the year off, do a podcast if I feel like it, you know, and just kind of like give it a break. And I kind of went like total 180, like just not doing anything with it, you know, and just give it a break and see how I feel when I come back, like maybe in the new year, you know, because I do love dyeing yarn. I knew that, and I knew that hadn't changed, but I just didn't want it to be a forced thing. And so I took a couple of days off again, still just went to work, came home, and just didn't worry about the shop. And I had mentioned to Ethan, I said, you know, before that, I was like, you know, you've been, you know, dyeing a lot of yarn, and you've been coming up with really cool colorways. I was like, if you ever just feel like it, go for it. Like, you don't have to ask or anything. Just go get into the yarn, go play, you know, just have fun, come up with colorways. Like, you know, that doesn't bother me. And I would really, you know, appreciate it. And he was all about it. He was like, yeah, totally. So he had surprised me with like this big, huge batch. And he said, this way you don't have to worry about, you know, getting ready for the update. You can just, you know, I'll take care of it, and I'll take care of packaging and labeling and stuff. It was just so sweet. And so, but like at first, like I was so excited. And then all of a sudden I was like almost like averted to it. Like I was like, oh no, like it was something I had to think about again. Like I had just done all of this relaxing away from it, and then it kind of like came back, and I was almost like it almost stressed me out. Even though I hadn't done any of the dyeing, like it was just like something I still had to think about. And even though he was going to take care of it, I was still like thinking about it. And so I was like, okay, maybe I can't. Maybe we just need a clean cut. And so like I thought about that for a few days, and then I was fine. Like it was so weird. Like we had a talk about it, and I was like, you know, he kind of helped me realize that I don't really want to take a full break from it. He's just going to kind of take over for me, the dyeing, the listing, the packaging, help me with posting on Instagram, when then I can focus on the stuff like the podcasting and the community, where that's kind of my strengths is, you know, working with community, and where he's really, really good at streamlining things. Like he has figured out ways to get the dyeing done in such an efficient way, and like, you know, scanning up and listing, where I kind of like, ooh, squirrel, you know, like I get very distracted very easily. And so basically what's going to happen, I know this is getting really rambly and I'm sorry, but I just kind of wanted to explain this. I am going to still dye yarn, but maybe like once a month, or just when I'm feeling it, and just kind of give myself a little bit of a break. And because I really do love it. I do love it, and I want to keep loving it. So this way sorry, my phone was full. Again, the storage was full. So, but what I was saying was, this way I can get a little bit of a break and just kind of like refuel, and, you know, just accept the help that I'm being offered, you know. And I always want to just, you know, do it all myself, and, you know, and just do everything. But it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to accept help, and it's healthy, I think, because you can't. I've been listening to like a creative entrepreneurs podcast. It's Tara Swagger. Oh my gosh, all I can think of is Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it's not. It's Explore Your Enthusiasm. Of course, Explore Your Enthusiasm. I don't know why I could not remember that. But so I've been watching her, or listening. She's an audio podcast, and she was talking about, you know, preventing burnout, and she said you streamline things that you don't have to do, and you hire out. You know, in this case, my husband. You know, and like that just allows you to do the things that you would, you know, have to do, where like, you know, it wouldn't be the same if Ethan just ran the podcast. It wouldn't be the same thing. So with this, it doesn't matter if I list it or if Ethan lists it. So I might as well let Ethan list the listings, or post on, you know, the update pictures on Instagram and things like that, you know, that I don't have to do, to just give myself the mind space, the head space, you know, to keep myself healthy and, you know, good. So, because like I said, I love this. I love this little knitting community. And so I don't want to let this go. And I was at a point where I was thinking maybe I just, you know, need the clean cut. But I think that was my mind's way of saying you just need a break for a little bit. And so, you know, I had about a week or so of that, and that's what I needed to recharge. So I'm feeling much, much better. I'm feeling fantastic, actually. I'm feeling the best I've ever felt now. You know, just having that help has lifted such, you know, it's been such a relief. And the funny part is, he's been trying to let me let him help, or to get me to let him help. And it's so funny. And I was like, no, I got this, you know. And, you know, having the help with the washing was fantastic. But I was just like, you know, I really like this. You know, it turns out I'm kind of a control freak. I didn't know that. Like, especially with the yarn thing. Like, I was like, no, it just has to be like this. Like, just silly things. Like, that doesn't matter. And so, like, letting him help me has just been amazing. And I just am so appreciative of him. So, yeah, that is what's been going on. It's a lot. And once again, sorry if this has gotten rambling, if that's more than you wanted to hear, but you guys, I consider you guys my friends, you know, and so I like to, it's almost like having girl talk with your friends, you know. So, yeah, that's what's going on. And then this way, like I said, we can keep the shop going and not have to go, you know, silent for a while. So, I guess that's it for what all I've got this week, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. And like I said, I really strongly recommend that that book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. It's really, really cool. I like it. I'm kind of still in the middle of going through my things, and that was also really like mind clearing, you know, just decluttering, and I love it. I love it. So can't recommend it highly enough. But yeah, so that is it for this week's podcast, guys. Let me know what you think about everything. I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on everything that I talked about today. So you could either leave a comment below, or you can post in the thread on Ravelry. I'm going to try and keep episode threads going. I used to do that and I kind of stopped, so I'll try and get that up. And then also feel free to give this video a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And other than that, I will talk to you guys later. Bye!